Hello and welcome there for the third and final round of the 3Motion challenge, the online challenge on RaceRoom Racing Experience, where you can win a €12,000 3Motion simulator, including a PC, including a wheel, including a monitor, truly high-end equipment. And these drivers here are on the twin ring Motegi, trying to take the final spot in the competition, trying to secure their ticket for the final event at the Tuning World Bodensee, where they can fight for the 3Motion simulator. My name is Wiesenmüller, and today I'm joined by Mr. McGlade.
Yeah, hello there. Happy to be here. The final time for these to qualify for that final event in the Bodensee later in early next month. It's going to be tricky, going to be technical for these guys around this Motegi circuit. 4.8 kilometers, 14 turns, pretty technical in some of the middle parts, and it's going to be quite hard to look after your tyres over the race distance. So should be a good one. Expect things to get pretty feisty out there.
Yes, and we're sorry for the little delay we had today. Unfortunately, the Steam servers, they went down, and yeah, we had to wait to give all the drivers a chance to actually connect to the servers, and that's why we're a little bit late. But the calendar itself, it stays as it is, so the third round here, and then the live final on the 4th of May, coming up pretty soon at the Tuning World Bodensee in Friedrichshafen in the south of Germany.
I'm very excited for it. As I say, we're going to see some pretty feisty races today. But everyone is desperate to get into it. As I say, the prize, you're talking a €12,000 sim rig. That's an incredible prize for these drivers to be fighting for. So a lot of them are going to be desperate to get into that final for that chance to win the rig. Exactly,
and I've driven it already. It feels amazing. It's truly a different experience to a normal rig, or when you just sit on your office chair and race. Of course, you can still be fast if you do it like this, but this is truly something special, and I'm sure all of these drivers here are looking forward to trying it out at the Tuning World Bodensee, or to winning it especially. So let's have a look at which are the drivers that are already qualified from the previous races. Because we already have 14 drivers that are confirmed in the final. On the left side you can see those who qualified in the first round. On the second side you can see the drivers that qualified at the Nürburgring last week. Jack Keithley took a very, very close victory over Gergo.
Yeah, it was a controlled victory, I feel. I mean, we've both commentated, we've both raced with Keithley. I had the chance to race with him in the same car in a 3-hour race last year. A very calculated driver, very well thought out. Definitely knows how to control a car over a race distance. So it wasn't a surprise to see him win by a small margin. It just seemed like a very measured drive.
Yeah, and of course Jack Keithley, he's won every single race on the Nürburgring in these RaceRoom competitions in the recent past, since 2017. So yeah, certainly not really a surprise for the driver that's dominating in a lot of RaceRoom championships at the moment. Putting impressive performance also in the GT Masters Championship. But let's have a look at the track today, because we are at a track that we don't see so often. Here you can see Twin Ring Motegi, a place where Danica Patrick won her only IndyCar race, but that was at the Oval. We are at the road course.
Yeah, it's a circuit that not many of us have actually raced at before, realistically, and it's one of those tricky ones. It doesn't come up often. Brilliant circuit though to race at. Lots of racing attempts. There's plenty of places to race at through the event, through the track. We've seen it in MotoGP, in Real Motorsport, in Super GT and things like that all race around here. All very, very good racing. So, it's definitely a new one for these drivers.
Yes, indeed. First time it's being used in the official RaceRoom competition race. We are at the end of the practice session, and as usual, we've got coming up 10 minutes of qualifying, and then a 20-minute race. No pit stops, but a lot of tire wear on these cars here, on these awesome GT1 cars with an awesome sound as well. Most drivers in the Ford GT, as usual in this competition, even though the Saleen won in the first race. Yeah, the Ford GT very popular. Let's actually have a look at these drivers here that join us for the race. You can see Tim Heinemann, he was the fastest in the pre-qualifying, but once again he's missing from the race. This time though it's not his fault. because he still has these issues on Steam. Just informed me that he's not going to join the race. So Simon O'Meal from Jury Esports in the Saline actually goes into the race as a favorite.
Yeah, we were looking at Naox, who was very, very quick in practice just before we head into qualifying. It's a shame there for Heinemann.
Oh, he just joined the server. He just joined the server.
Oh, there we go. Things get a bit spicy. Realistically, Heinemann, with his experience in RaceRoom, with his time sort of around RaceRoom, he's going to be, I say, one of the strongest on the field, surely. He's won so much in RaceRoom. He was basically in contention to win the WTCR esports last time, or at least some of the races in that, and struggled, unfortunately, but very, very quick.
Yes, and he's going to race in Real Motorsports this year in the German GT4 Championship in a Mercedes, of course. He won the Mercedes AMG e-racing competition twice, so no surprise to see him in the Mercedes, also in real racing. But we're starting qualifying now. We've got a couple of other drivers that are very experienced on the grid. One of them is Alexander Dorneden. I think he's the first one out on track as well. Here we have him. He's now driving for FA Racing, and FA Racing, that's the team of Fernando Alonso. So the former eSports WTCC champion. He's joined Fernando Alonso's sim racing team, and he's coming here with a teammate, Christian Kwiatkowski, from the same team. And of course Dorneden, also one of these drivers who everyone would say is probably top 5 on RaceRoom when it comes to overall results. So great to see him back. It's been a while since he competed, actually. I think it's his first race of the year on RaceRoom. And then of course we've got this man here, Niels Naurjoks, Red Bull Racing Esports, and as you mentioned before, he's had some super impressive times in the practice session already. It's faster than Heinemann was in pre-qualifying, so we will wait and see what we can expect from the German who's driving for Red Bull in this competition.
Yeah, big teams on the field, big drivers as well. You say about Dorneden, WTCC esports champion, through just sheer consistency. His consistency across the season was absolutely brilliant. We're going to ride on board with him around a lap of the 4.8 kilometre 14 turn circuit here at Motegi as he goes through Victory Corner and onto the start finish straight. It is a tricky circuit, but for drivers of this quality, you're expecting them to nail it almost every lap. Alexander Dorneden comes into turn 1, hooks the apex nicely, gets that good line. You've got to come out quite wide before heading through turn 2. The car is understeery as you kind of turn in, but you've got to use the throttle to get it through the corner. Not too much though, because you'll spin and you'll wear your tyres out through the race. Same kind of stuff, only the other way. We're going through the double left, too wide there. A little bit of a slide. He's going to keep it on and just try and push on and see what he can do with the lap. Heads into turn 5. Very, very tight. Big overtaking opportunity is this one as he heads through the corner. Again, lovely to the apex. And straight out 130R, not the one that you're used to at Suzuka, but this one still. Same kind of corner, just goes the other way. Completely flat out for these guys. Then into the S curves, turn 7, turn 8. Not really an overtaking opportunity, but you can get yourself lined up for the next corner, for V corner, for turn 9. Again, very, very tight. Expect to see quite a few dives down the inside here. Will it work? Can you hold it around the outside? Because the next corner is the hairpin. This is probably where we're going to see most of the overtaking, either here or the next corner. Very, very good. You can get down the inside. It's probably not quite a move that you can get around the outside, but you'll probably see someone try it, of course. Then the run down this straight, down towards, down the hill, downhill straight, down towards the 90-degree right-hander of turn 11. And then straight over onto the left-hand side. It is quite bumpy out there, but it is the fastest line to give you that wide entrance through the 90-degree right. Then through this very, very fast left-hander into this one. You're trying to slow it down whilst turning, fronts are locking, get it through Victory Corner. A lot of a slide on the rear end and straight over the line. Tough lap there for these drivers around Motegi. A lot of work happens all in one go.
And Simon O'Meal immediately sets a 43.4. That's a very good time. 43.2 was the fastest time from Heinemann in the pre-qualifying. 42.9 by Naurjoks in practice, and Naurjoks is the one on provisional pole with the 43.4 in the black Ford with the bronze stripes in the middle there. Niels Naurjoks. Dorneden in the blue car in this event. And let's have a look at Tim Heinemann. What can he do? Green sectors, he's a little bit down. Of course, didn't quite have the practice before the event now compared to his rivals.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if you've had it. I've had it recently where I've been knocked out of a qualifying session, either very early in qualifying session or the practice before qualifying. And he goes 7th at the moment on a 44.2. Expect him to go a lot quicker than that once he's bedded himself into the session and stuff. But it really, really does throw you off as Donovan improves for the first sector, not so much in the second. But yeah, it gets into your head. You need to just sort of separate it, just focus on the session and just get back into the rhythm. You know how to drive a lapper in the car. You've just got to tell yourself that you can do it in this qualifying session under this pressure. It's not a surprise to me that Donovan's time was a 43.9. That's put him in P4. Considering the moment he had between turn 3 and 4, I'd expect to see him improve massively on a 43.9. He is going to improve on this lap, I assume. I'm going to come down, probably improve a couple of tenths, but not quite on the pole. As he heads through these really, really fast left hand. It's so tricky to wrestle the car down for victory corner.
Yes, indeed, and there's actually quite a big gap between O'Meal and Panebianco, two drivers who were very unlucky at the Nürburgring. Both spun off on the first lap, and there you go, Dorniden, actually with a superb final sector, moves up to 3rd place. So maybe he can even go up to pole position. Great to see the performance here of Alexander Dorniden. Got a couple of new drivers, of course, as well in this race. Dirk Ritschel, for example, in the Saleen, currently in P18. Some of you might know him from the Avia competition, where he also competed. And then in P13, we've got the only Koenigsegg on the grid, Eric Nied. And we also have a Nissan, Andreas Barth, who's sitting in P15 at the moment.
Yeah, I do love seeing those odd models. Of course, the Nissan, driven last time by Oscar Hardwick to... decent. I think it was 12th place that he ended up finishing in that one, in that Nissan. We only ever really get one of these. Everyone else takes a Ford or a Saleen, but it's mostly the Ford being the most popular car. I see Nayox did improve his time. They were 6 or 7 thousandths apart, Nayox and O'Meal, but Nayox now improves to a 43.263. So I'm not sure if that is quite on the money for the pre-practice or for the pre-qualifying time for this. But either way, very, very fast time. We know he can go 2 to 3 tenths quicker, though. So keep an eye on him for improving through the session. Very, very good laps to start off with, though.
Yes, he's a little bit down on the time from Heinemann from pre-qualifying. But let's see what Heinemann can even do in the session. Panebianco in 4th place, Ballas Racing Team. Then Kitniewski, he's a teammate of Dorniden, even though he hasn't entered his team name in the profile. Should probably do that afterwards. And then Corentin Pointot, the Frenchman, in P6, by far the best performance from him in the season. P7, Philip Matzik at the moment, and you have to remember, P7, that's what matters, that's what counts. You have to finish in the top 7 of this race. Of course you shouldn't pick up a penalty, but best 7 of this race after penalties, they qualify for the final event at Tuning World Bodensee.
Yeah, the racing for that position, where they're going to be very, very tight. Throughout the race, especially towards the end, in those last few laps, keep an eye on that P7 position. It's going to be super, super tight. Tim Heinemann improving through the first sector, coming up towards the end of the second. What's he going to do here? He is improving. He's doing quite a good time. He's only a 10th off at the moment as he comes towards the hairpin, turn 10. This could be a big improvement. He needs to improve. He's currently in P9, which isn't enough to qualify, obviously, as you say, the top 7. 2 minutes and 15 seconds remaining. Absolutely needs to improve. He doesn't want to be down in the mid-pack. I believe this will be his last. He might get the time in for one more, but it'll be super tight.
I don't think he will, because on RaceRoom, the session ends as soon as the timer hits 0. So unless he finishes, well, I don't know.
It's going to be very close. He might get one more in. I think he will get one more in. Yeah.
So when he crosses the line, slight mistake there. At the end, oh, he's not gonna get another one in. Oh, is he gonna get another one in P7? That will be exciting.
The line is very late.
Simon O'Meal is purple in the first sector.
We'll have to keep an eye on him. He heads through 130 up. Obviously a good lap so far to start off with. Heads into the tricky left-hander. I say to nail these, you've got to sacrifice a little bit of speed through the first left-hander to line it up for the right-hander to then get that run out properly. Improving that. Oh, look at this. Look at this. Fantastic time.
Yeah, so I think O'Meal is a little bit... No, actually, it's Naujoks who's further ahead, so we will stay with Naujoks here. He's about to come through the final corner. Oh, is that track limits? That was very much kerb on the inside there. Crossing the line. Nope. Legal lap. 43.0, and that could be pole position. Unless Simon O'Meal can find something here at the end. He's still fairly close after the second sector.
Yeah, he just needs to absolutely nail victory corner. Not much time left. This is his final one. Nope, he doesn't nail victory corner. Big slide on the rear end as he leaves the corner. That is going to cost him a couple of tenths for sure. Runs towards the line. Is he going to improve? I don't know. I don't think he does. No, I don't think he does.
Let's see.
So PT for him.
We see Heinemann there behind the results screen. And the time is still running, so let's not get confused here only because we already see the results, but drivers can still improve. So Heinemann only P7 behind Ponto and Kitniewski. That's not what he expected. Let's see when he crosses the line if he's going to get the lap in or not.
I don't think he will.
No, he won't. Only P7 at the start.
So close.
So well then, here we go. 20 minutes of racing coming up. Action going to start immediately. See the cars lining up. Here's now Jörg's early on the grid. He's starting from our position on the right side in the black and bronze car. And you can see Panebianco is actually in 4th place.
Putting the power down off the start in these cars is going to be very, very difficult. The pressure there. The tension, as I say, it's so important to get ready, to get a good result under your belt, to get ready for that final in just over a month's time. Not long to go now before we get this race underway. Who is going to come out on top? The pressure is absolutely tantalising. We've got about 10 seconds to go, and then the lights will be on, and we will be underway for the final qualifying race for the 3Motion Challenge. Who is going to come out on top? Who is going to be in the top 7? Who is going through to the final? Nyox on pole. O'Meal alongside. Who is going to get the best start? Here we go. I believe Nyox got a very good start there. He's going to have a clear lead into turn 1. O'Meal's going to be overtaken by Dornadon into turn 1 in the mid-pack. Tim Heinemann, a bit of contact, going to run wide. I don't know who that is he's made contact with, but he's just run wide. It's going to cost him a few positions, so they run through turn 2. Down towards turn 3. Dornadon dropped back into 3rd position after having a good start. Didn't quite make that move stick. Stays behind O'Meal. A bit of contact there between the two of them. And he didn't quite get that moved in. Heinemann, very aggressive, trying to move his way back up the order. He's currently in 9th position. Needs to make some moves stick early on to try and get up the order. Directly in front of him, that's Baumler and Heinemann under attack. Oh, Heinemann coming down the inside of Baumler. Up into 7th position. Very aggressive. Brilliant move, though.
2 places gained in 1 move there for Heinemann, who was pushed wide a little bit by Kitniewski in the first corner, but at the front of the field nothing really changed. Now Jörg is leading ahead of O'Meal, Dorniden, Panebianco and Pointot, who's gained 1 place to Kitniewski.
I'm not quite sure how O'Meal stayed ahead of Dornadon. I thought Dornadon was in the right spot to potentially go around the outside. Obviously, it's quite tricky to do so in that position. This is giving Nyox just a little bit of breathing room, not much, 0.6 of a second. Tim Heinemann up into 6th position now.
I think Kitniewski picked up a slowdown there because he lost a lot of ground, just a few corners. Not sure who was that.
I think it was Dobson.
Already out. Where is Dobson now?
Dobson and Arata going side by side down the downhill straight. Doesn't quite make that one stick. The Hungarian down to 12th position and stays there. Up ahead, we've got Costa trying to attack for 8th position. Not quite making that move stick on the outside of the 90-degree right-hander, but he's going to be trying to line himself up for victory corner. It's not the best overtaking opportunity. You're not on a motorbike, and no one is Marc Marquez and Dovizioso. We can't make that one stick. But in these cars, it's very, very tricky. Nyox, though, leading the first lap here of this 20-minute race. A good first lap, good start, great conversion. Now all he has to do is set a blazing pace and look after his tyres completely, which is very tricky.
Yes, but good to see for Nyox that he's clear here in the lead. And O'Meal is keeping Dorniden behind him. Dorniden can be pretty aggressive in the battle. Dorniden is off!
Oh my god.
What has happened there? That looked very strange. He just went straight on. Maybe a technical issue, but he's now down to 12th position. So he needs a recovery drive now. It didn't look like contact at all. It's very strange. Oh, defending hard against Mielgo. Just getting passed by Daniel around the outside.
Oof, bit of slide there as well from Mielgo. I say these cars are very, very tricky. I don't know quite what happened there with Dornadon. Obviously, a man of his talent, you wouldn't really expect a huge mistake, but that was an absolutely massive one. So you need to be in that top 7, currently well outside of it. Dobson now under attack from Alexander Dornaden. Obviously Dornaden will be very annoyed at this point, and he will be trying to make his way back up through the order. He's got to keep a cool head. Dobson on the outside of Arata, not quite making that one stick. He's going to go for a little bit of a cutback. Yep, he comes straight back across Dornaden. Dornaden in a big spin there for Dobson. And Dornaden caught up in that. Oh.
Dobson's coming back onto the track there. I'm not sure if that was Dornaden's fault or if Dobson just turned in on him there. Tricky to see, but either way, Dobson lost a lot of positions here, and a huge battle, Neat in the battle, Cavillon, and then also I think Esteban Schau, Stefan Ahlers at the back of the group here, now getting on the inside of Neat.
Yeah, Neat doing that Koenigsegg wide though.
Very wide line there, and contact once again between Dobson and Cavillon.
Yeah, I mean, to me, for that instant, the hairpin, Dobson was just a little bit wide, and then as he was coming back in, that space is always going to get filled. And Dornaden was just there. We'll back up with Heinemann moving up to 4th position, getting past Ponto. Very good move, very tidy, but Ponto straight back through. Brilliant work. And back up into 4th position is him, forces him out wide. Tim Heinemann not liking that one. Going to have a look into turn 5, surely. Is it going to be a dive? Yes, it is. Is it going to work though? Oh, just about gives him room. Tim Heinemann, this surely is it, going up to 130 yards. Tim Heinemann up into 4th position. Ponto trying to hold it around the outside in the Celine, trying to muscle his way back up into 4th position. Doesn't quite work. He concedes. Heinemann to 4th.
But what a great battle. Corentin Ponto in his best performance we've ever seen from him on RaceRoom, showing Tim Heinemann it's not so easy to overtake me here. Oh, and I think there was a change for position. I think Costa went past Kitniewski.
Good drive from Costa, now on the cusp of taking that very, very important P7. Matzik currently in that position. Dornaden's not making the progress I would expect him to. Currently in P12, 15 minutes to go in this race, and he's not making that progress back up the order. So this could be a disaster for Dornaden, but this could be absolute gains for Matzik, for Costa, for Kwiatkowski, who can take that 7th position. They're currently dropping off the back of Baumler a bit further ahead, but not quite enough. Here is Dornaden trying to make his way up the order on the back of Daniel. Oh, who's that off?
I think it's Arata. See, can't find Arata at the moment. There he is.
There he is.
Very strange accident. So he's out. Schau is out as well. And Asciuto. Oh, and Costa is battling with Kitniewski. Both FA cars currently not in the top 7 in this race.
Yeah, not a good result for that team so far. Trying to muscle his way around the outside, didn't quite work there at T1. He could be looking for a move at T3. Remember, you can get that cut back between 3 and 4. Oh! Hits the back of him, and that's him straight off the road. Kwiatkowski straight down the order. He's in the gravel trap. Going to try and get it back going again, but that is pretty much day done. He's going to be down in 16th, 17th position when he rejoins. That is a shame. Say just contact there and mistake. Just didn't work out there.
And I mean, it was pretty hard defending from Dan Costa, but still, from Kitniewski, but still, I think Dan Costa a little bit too ambitious there to try to get the inside line in this corner. And unfortunately, in such a race where the result is important for qualifying, it's just this one result and not any points or so. This could spell some bad news for Kitniewski.
Yeah, I think the thing is, he was trying to go back around the outside, something that we've all tried before, as Timodowski's off the road and down in 6th position, not going well for them. But yeah, he was trying to go back out to the outside, but just misjudged it, mistimed it, went straight across into the back of him. It just didn't quite work out. Give it a go. I mean, I've made that mistake before. I hit the back of Gergo Bowdy at one point, trying to imitate what Jack Keithley did in the WTCR first round. It went very badly. What I will say is, if we look at P9 already, Dornaden, obviously through those mistakes, making that progress back up. Currently just closing on the back here. I think he's made a mistake on this lap, because he's now 3 seconds off the back of Costa. Potentially some tyre wear, but definitely something to keep an eye on. And these two, very, very close as well. Matzik, this is for the bottom end. You don't want to be taking any risks at this point, surely. You want to just be sat there calmly. You're in 7th. 7th is good. 7th is happy. 7th is the final.
Yeah, of course. But I think Costa and Dornin are both gaining a little bit on Matzik and Baumler. He was actually in a good position. He was 8th last time out at Nürburgring. Very unlucky not to make it there. And close to Zverev at the end of the race. And I would just like to jump to the leaders for a brief moment, because we could have a battle for the win on our hands. Simon O'Meal in the Saline has great race pace, and he's closing in on Narjoks.
I saw that gap at about 1.5 seconds at one point. So doing a brilliant job here is Emil to reclose up to the back of Nyox to control those tyres. Hopefully he is controlling those tyres. We've got this race all the way up to the end. Again, realistically, you want to take the win. Obviously, we're all racing. We love that win and stuff. You want to go into the final with, you know, the confidence of saying that I was one of the ones. I won a race like Keithley.
Like Kunze as well in the first race,
Kunze,
of course.
Yeah, of course. Being a part of that trio, very important. Nike is also going to want that a lot. Do you want to risk it? Are you going to risk everything to try and make that move stick? Is it worth it?
The thing is, Nyox did risk it in the first race. He wanted the win against Kunze, then left the door open for Janssen and they collided, and Nyox pretty much threw away a certain qualification for the final in this race. Let's jump into Motegi because the gaps are changing there a little bit between him and Baumler. But yeah, I think Nyox, he's probably learned from what happened to him in the first race. I think he will play it safe, and Emil as well. I mean, he was in the at the front of the field at the Nürburgring and then got spun around, so I would pretty much expect that they rather play it safe than fight completely.
Not so great for the spectator, but at the same time, realistically, thinking of what's up for offer, as you say, that 12,000 euro rig with the PC, with the monitor, with the wheel, the actual 3Motion rig itself, you're not going to want to throw that potential chance away, are you, over taking a race win that, I'm not saying it doesn't matter, but it's not a championship. This is a pre-qualifying event for a final. And so, as long as you're in the top 7, it doesn't matter if you're P1, if you're P7. If you're in that top 7, that's surely the important bit. Someone who's not quite in that top 7 is
with
Costa.
a mistake.
Big wide, yeah.
When Dorneden...
Dorneden made a bit of a mistake there, tried to clip in the back of him as he was going for an overtake. Now going to go around the outside of this 90-degree left-hander. Oh, just runs him out wide as Dan Costa. Bit dodgy there, but up to the hairpin. Dan Costa holds on to 8th position. Dorneden very close to the back of this train up ahead.
And that's the second car from the FA Racing team that Costa has made contact with, and this is costing both of them a massive amount of time. So now we're already in the second half of the race, and Dorneden needs to focus now. He needs to focus, needs to get past Costa as fast as possible if he wants to retain a chance of bringing home that crucial P7.
Yeah, I don't know where Costa's tyres are at the moment. I say Dorneden, I say the stuff that we know about him, and his consistency over a race, over a season, over a championship. I'm sure he's got his tyres under control and just really needs to focus on getting by, because if he can get by, then there is that potential of catch the back of Matzik. I'm sure if I was Matzik, if I was Baumler, I'm sat there thinking, I really hope this guy does not get by.
Oh, and Matzik is dropping off the back. Yeah. Actually got a close battle between Pointot and Baumler there. Meanwhile, Panebianco, haven't talked about him at all. Safe in 3rd place. Heinemann is closing in. I don't think they will fight too hard there. Heinemann known to be super aggressive in the battles, and Panebianco just wants to qualify.
Yeah. Yeah, discretion.
Oh, Dorneden is going for it once again here.
What's he going to do? Heads through 130R. Is he going to line himself up into the left-hander of the S-curve? I don't think he will. It's not the greatest overtaking opportunity. He might line himself out of it into the V-curve, or potentially into the hairpin. He's very close to the back of the Portuguese driver. Is he going to dive down the inside? No, he doesn't. Holds up behind. He's just filling up those mirrors at the moment, trying to see if he can force a mistake, if he can force him to defend a little bit too aggressively, force him off the road in that sense. From more of a psychological aspect, Dorneden all over the back of that Ford GT as a very good drive out of the hairpin. That's kind of what he wants. He's going to surely look down the inside, coming into the 90-degree right-hander from the downhill straights. Yes, he looks. Is he going to go for it? Is he going to commit? He's slightly, not quite. Stays in 9th. Needs to get this move done now. There is 7 minutes and 49 seconds of this race remaining, and Alexander Dorneden, if he wants a position in that now, he has to go for it very soon. That said, we do have one extra opportunity for these drivers to qualify at the event, because obviously there is 24 drivers in that final, which means if we've got 7, 7 and 7, there is 3 spots open. There is a race there, I believe it is on a Saturday, for the final 3 spots. So if Dorneden doesn't qualify now, if he goes to the event, he could potentially get in. Is it worth the risk? Not too sure. There will be a lot of drivers there that are going for that are going for those final 3 spots. But people like Dornadon, they need to get that move done now. They surely want to go into that final round knowing they're already in the final. As he looks down the inside of Costa, bit of contact. Costa's slid out of there wide. Dornadon holds him behind, ball contact.
Oh, and Dornadon's gonna get frustrated here by Costa, because Costa is certainly holding him up here, but he just can't find really a clean way past there. And every time that he goes side by side with Costa, Costa is also just shutting the door violently. And he's running out of time now.
Exactly.
Another moment from Costa there.
I say, we've all been in this position of racing against someone who is aggressively defending, who...
It reminds me of Alonso versus Petrov. I don't know which year it was.
2010.
Yeah, but Alonso, of course, it's his team here.
Yeah.
Just can't get past him.
It boils you. Even if you know they're defending completely legitimately, it boils your blood. You're just like, no, I want to get by. I need to get by. Dornadon. Oh, bit of contact there, I think. Dornadon just runs wide. Maybe a little bit of a clip on the back. I just saw, yeah, as it showed that Heinemann has moved up into 3rd position. Panabianco probably just didn't fire. Was like, yeah, after you. Off you go. Maybe made a mistake, not too sure. Still in 4th position. Very, very good drive. Costa just about hanging on to 8th for the moment. Not long to go. Dornadon surely needs to get this move done now, but is Dan Costa getting into Dornadon's head? Heads down into 3 and 4. Costa just about holding in front. His car is looking twitchy though. Very, very slippery on the rear end. Is he burning those tyres out? Dornadon right over the back. Is he going to go down for the inside of turn 5? I think he's just a little bit too far back for now. Just closes up in the braking zone as we head through turn 5. And more contact, same corner. Bit of contact there again. They made contact into 130R as well. Will Dornadon stay here? Can he get it? Can he get by? Where would you make a move around this circuit?
Well, talking about moves, there's the change for the lead. Simon Emil getting past Naujux, and it looks like either slowdown for Naujux or he just let him through.
It looks more like a slowdown. It did look more like a slowdown, just because the way where he was and stuff like. I wouldn't expect him to race really, really hard. That said, I wouldn't expect Naujux to just. Oh no, you can go. It's only for a win.
Late under braking there, Naujux.
Is he going to fight him back? Potentially. Heads through victory corner. And then up towards the start-finish line. Emil, as I say, brilliant drive from the pair of these anyway to get up into this position. They're currently 6.2 seconds ahead of Heinemann. Naujux looks like he wants to get racing here. What's Emil going to do? How is he going to react? Is he going to try and fight him as well? Heads towards turn 3. No, surely going to look down the inside here if he wants to make a move for the win. Yes, he is. He's going to dive down the inside. They're going to go racing. A little bit of contact.
Oh, there's contact.
Emil spun. That is terrible. Emil should be able to get ready and going again. Naujux off into the lead.
But that's unbelievable. That's just unbelievable how he can put his position in the final at risk with a move like this, because that might give him a penalty, of course, after the race.
Exactly.
Oh, and Costa has been off.
I wonder if that is anything to do with Dornadon or what, but Dornadon up into 8th position, Costa down to 11th, and that is his chance to get into the final pretty much done, as Baumler and Ponto go not quite side by side through 130R, but Baumler looking all over the back end. Can he get through? Not quite. Into the S-curve. Up towards the V-curve. Is he going to look down the inside? The risk that Naujux took with that move is insane. Will any of these take the same kind of risk? Realistically, if I was in that position, I wouldn't want to. Again, it doesn't matter where you are in the top 7. If you're in the top 7, you qualify. Why risk it past that point? Why risk a penalty?
But that's the fun part as well, isn't it? You know, these people shouldn't fight. You know, it just makes no sense to fight, and they still do it. And they still provide a lot of action here for everyone who's watching the stream at the moment.
Yeah. Well, absolutely. Heinemann, though, right on the back of P2. This is someone who I would expect to fight now. Emil obviously has been spun. He's been spun out of the lead of the race by the car directly ahead. Is he going to fight Heinemann that badly? You can see how much Heinemann wants that P2. I think Heinemann's going for the win. He doesn't really care about P2. He absolutely wants that victory. Heads through turn 2, all over the back of him. Not quite close enough, I think, to make a move down into turn 3, but this is Tim Heinemann we're talking about. Is he going to make a move? I doubt he's going to dive from that distance because that would be insane. But yeah, brilliant drive though from Heinemann, respectfully. Done a very good job to get up into third position.
Oh, a bit of a wiggle there. Oh!
Huge slide in the rear end.
Good car control to save it there. That gives O'Meal some breathing space. And we just have to go back to this battle here. Baumler versus Pointeau, and Baumler is looking, maybe he fears that Matzek and Dorniden are going to catch up to him. And of course Dorniden less than 2 seconds now, less than 1.5 seconds now to Matzek, so he's closing in.
Yeah, it's times like this where you've got two choices. You either sit behind and try and do some really, really good lap times with the guy in front, which can work, but is also quite risky, or you try and get by and then hope that they have to deal with the cars coming. Both strategies are pretty risky. Not very long left in the race. I believe we've got 1 lap after this one, as Nyox leading away at the moment. Whether he's expecting a penalty, not sure. I mean, it was a dodgy bit of contact with Emil, but I'm sure that'll be looked into. Who's that off the road?
Stefan Ahlers. It's not Nyox, just the same livery.
Yeah.
Ahlers is off, and Dorniden. Oh, Matzek has been off. Matzek has been off in the hairpin, and Dorniden is up into P7.
My goodness me. That is a terrible shame for Matzek. I'm assuming too much power out of the hairpin. Terrible, terrible shame. He's going to probably, at this point, finish 8th position, which is the worst position to finish in because you are so close to being in that final. It's been a good drive so far. I'd say it just kind of all fell apart at the end there. Donaldson up into 7th position though after his early troubles, after his early misfortune in the race, going down into turn 3. Obviously went off the road. We're still not quite sure as to the reason why. And then an issue trying to get past Costa, up into 7th position though, and ready to qualify. Now, with everything that's happened with Matzek, now I'm in this position, P5, P6. I'm less bothered because if Donaldson catches and passes, again, I'm still in the top 7. I'm all right. But let's be honest, they're going to start racing, and that is what we want to see. We want to see people fighting, just cleanly.
Yes, indeed, we want to. And Pointeau, as I mentioned before, this has been by far his best performance ever on RaceRoom in these official races. He's a guy that you see quite often in the server too. And to pull that sort of performance here, running ahead of Baumler, ahead of Dorniden and Matzek, that's just great to see. Clean drive as well. Bit of a wiggle here, but still holding the position ahead of Lars Baumler. We have to jump to this man here. Controversial victory. Let's see if there are any consequences to that incident.
Is he slowing? I think he's slowing to let Emil past.
Or maybe he's out of fuel, so let's see if he gets going again here afterwards. Maybe he just got a slowdown.
Oh, he could have got a slowdown as well. Either way, we've got only 3 corners to go as they head through turn 12, through 13. It's going to be close. I don't think it's going to happen. Nyox, though, going to take that victory. Comes out of the final corner. Victory corner it is. And he is most likely going to win this race. Is he going to lift off and let Emil through?
Yeah, he's letting him through. So Simon O'Meal, after leading, after getting punted out of the way, gets the win gifted there from Niels Naujoks and becomes our 3rd winner, and also has qualified safely for the final. Ahead of Naujoks, ahead of Heinemann, Panebianco 4th, then Pointeau in 5th. He had the position ahead of Lars Baumler. And 7th place, last one to get in directly if there are no penalties, Alexander Dorniden. After a mistake from Philip Matzek in the hairpin. Then Costa, after also a very spectacular race, down in P9. And Roberto Mielgo, after a good solid performance, brings home P10.
Yeah, I mean, respectfully, for Nyox, that was absolutely the right thing to do. You know, he just kept his head down, focused on trying to win the race, but then, towards the end, was like, right, my intention is to give this back to Emil. I'm just going to slow this down. It's the right thing to do to return that win to him. We have our qualifiers, our 21 qualifiers. We'll see what happens penalties post-race, which we'll deal with later. But realistically, we've got our 21 drivers. 3 more to come when we get to that Saturday event in the Bodensee. Going to be very, very interesting to see who will win that motion rig.
Indeed, so here the full order. Fastest lap for Naujoks, and then outside of the top 10, Kitniewski, of course, after the big accident with Costa, with Daniel. Neat, Ahlers, who has been off the track, Barton the fastest Nissan, then Matjen, Cavillon, Tumidaisky, Untereiner, and Dirk Gretschel rounding out the top 20.
Yeah, so good race, good races for certain people, good recovery drives from some, let's be honest, some worthy champions, some contenders for the 3Motion simulator. And from that, from the previous 2 races that we've had, we have got such a strong field. You know, we've got Heinemann and Keithley again. That's going to be an interesting one towards the front. Expect that to be a fiery confrontation when we get there.
Yeah, pretty much all of the you know, big names from RaceRoom competitions are going to be there. So Dornin is now in, of course. Löhner is in as well. Banki, Baldi, Kunze, Hassel, Michael Rechelt is becoming one of the you know, one of the stars right now. And then a couple of guys who are, you know, sort of surprising me, like Simon O'Meal. What a performance that was. I mean, he was faster than Naujoks at certain stages of the race. And Naujoks, of course, also a new name in RaceRoom competitions. So great to see that. And make sure to tune in, or actually to come to the final at the Tuning World Bodensee.
Yeah, we've got loads of really, really good drivers lining up for this. So you've got all of your RaceRoom, the contenders, the favourites, the ones we'd almost kind of expect to be there. But you've got that mixed in with some new guys, with some guys that maybe realistically are a little bit out of their depth. You've got Panavienko, brilliant drive. I think it's a 4th position. Excellent consistency and moved his way up through the order. And just sort of kept his nose clean. And just kept himself clean through the race, and brilliant drive. What is going to happen though? Because as I say, the thing is, this is all we're seeing through the qualifiers. Once we get to that race though, as you and I both know, Rob, completely different. Being there in a live event, you can be the cleanest driver, the best driver, the most respectful driver, but then once you're put with 12,000 euros worth of equipment in front of you and that chance to win, you're going to go for it, aren't you?
Yeah, indeed, and that's why we decided to run 3 races actually in the final, so not just 1 race. We have 3 races in the point system then at the final event, also to prevent something like what happened to Kitniewski today, that you get into one accident and basically your event is over. We will race at Hockenheim, at Spa-Francorchamps and at Sepang in the final event, as we mentioned before, on Saturday the 4th of May at the Tuning World Bodensee. And this event will also be live streamed with Lewis on comms, together with Jadia Jaroslav Honzik.
Very exciting event, as I say. The races, the tracks we've got coming up, they're going to provide some good racing. The drivers we've got, they're going to provide some even better racing. And I, for one, very, very excited to see you all there in a month's time.
Yeah, and that being said, this is it from us. This is it for the online part of the 3Motion challenge. We'll post the updated results in the Sector 3 forums and on in the portal, of course, and also on Twitter. So stay tuned for that, probably on Monday morning. And yeah, thanks, Lewis. And tomorrow, of course, we've got the GT Master stream. Tune in for that one as well. Once again at 7, if the Steam servers don't fail. That's all I have to say. So, that being said, have a good night.